Hi guys, this is Divyansh and welcome to the United Talk. Manchester United has defeated Leicester City by 1-0 thanks to Marcus Rashford's 8th minute penalty. If you look at the game, it was a scrappy 1-0 win for United because it was an average game played by two very average looking sides. When I say average looking, I know that Leicester is a good team. They are solid and serious top 6 contenders this season. But to my surprise, and I think to everyone's surprise, they had a very average game. And because they were average, we were able to hold off our lead. And I say this because if you look at the saves that De Gea had to make, whatever saves he did make, they were not great. They were just an average saves that any goalkeeper should make. So De Gea had a solid game. The defense had a solid game. I don't want to take away anything from Maguire and from Lindelof because I think they were solid together. Apart from a couple of nervy moments that Lindelof had, I think he had a better game than the last two games. I felt Ashley Young had a very good game for a change. Van Bissaka, every game is a good game for Van Bissaka, and now I feel it's expected of him to have a good game, and it'll be a surprise when he doesn't have a good game. He looks like he's going to win every tackle. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays against someone like a Sadio Mane, when we play Liverpool at home, I think 3 weeks from now. So that'll be a good game and it'll be an interesting duel to watch. Apart from that, I think McSauce had a very good game because I felt his presence in midfield, defensive midfield, actually also helped Nemanja Matic. Matic had an average game because after the 60th minute, it looked like he was labouring to even cover the ground, and that's where Fred is back, by the way. So if you talk about Daniel James, another summer signing that has played well for us. He tried his best. He tried really hard. Not his game though, but he tried his best. And one thing that I would like to point out again, which I've said repeatedly, is that he's a left winger. And what happens when Martial comes back? Because then Rashford moves to the left and James moves to the right. Daniel James does not have a very good left foot. Daniel James' crossing ability is not great. His ability, the good thing about his game is that he can run directly at defenders. He's very, very fast. He's very direct. And he can score goals. He can score goals from outside the box because he has a very good right foot. But when you move him to the right hand side, what do you expect him to do then? Because then he's not a good crosser of a ball. The only thing that he can do is then run with the ball. And opposition has realized this by now. So they're not gonna leave space behind the defenders or behind the midfield and the defense to make sure that he's able to run and cross the ball to any other forward. So it's going to be interesting to watch how Solskjaer plays this, what tactical changes does he for the upcoming games, because the upcoming games are against Astana, West Ham and Rochdale, which are winnable games, which we should win, and then we have a real test in form of Arsenal. So I think before Arsenal, I also want to see some rotation. I would like to see Tahith Chong and Angel Gomez have at least 2 45-minute games, if not a 90-minute as well. I would also like to see Romero in goal, which I think is going to happen. Atuanzibi in the back line would help rest Maguire and Lindelof. So I think Jimmy Garner in midfield can also be given a chance. So the next few games, it's something that we need to build upon from this game, this victory, and continue and make it a winning streak by winning the next 3 games. Because when you go against Arsenal at home with a 4-game winning run, you have confidence, and then you have players like Paul Pogba and Anthony Martial back, and maybe Diego Dalot is someone who can return by that time as well. Speaking about Dalot, I think he for this season can be the solution to our problems on the right hand side, on the right wing. We do need a right winger in the next transfer window, but till then I think Diego Dalot can be someone who can play in that position and do a good job because he's fast. The fastest players in the squad right now. He is a good crosser of the ball, and he is someone who's also direct, like Daniel James. If you have 2 direct people running on the right hand and on the left hand side, then defenders will be scared, and I think Dalot can do a good job because he can even track back. So with Van Bissaka and Dalot on the right hand side, I think that problem of right hand side play of United can be solved to an extent. But we do need an out-and-out right winger. We do need a creative playmaker to play alongside Paul Pogba. If Paul Pogba leaves, we need at least 2 creative midfielders who can pass the ball, who can score goals, who can give assists. We also need cover for McTominay and for Fred, because I feel Matic's days will be over soon, within a year or so. I think we will need cover in that area. And what we also need is cover for left back and centre back. Apart from Toonzibi, we need someone else to replace Maguire and Lindelof in case there are some suspensions, injuries, or you just want to rest these guys. So we do need to give Solskjaer time, because we do need to give him at least 2 transfer windows so that he can buy and bring in players who can fill in these positions that I mentioned, and then he can overhaul the squad. And the next thing that I'm going to say is going to offend some of the United fans, but I think what we do need to do is also follow Liverpool's model of how they have built up the team after the Gerrards and the Carragers have left the team. And what they have done is they played in the Europa League for about a couple of seasons, about 3 odd seasons, and they built a team. And as far as I remember, when Jurgen Klopp came in, the only world-class player in that team was Philippe Coutinho. And look what they have done. They not only built a very good attacking line with Mo Salah and Mane, with Firmino, they also have, if you look at it on paper, they have a very average midfield. I mean, Jorginho, Wijnaldum, if it's Jorginho, Wijnaldum, there's Shaqiri, there's Henderson, that's Fabinho. You look at, you think about these players, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I mean, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain and Shaqiri are the only 2 players who might be called as creative. But Oxlade-Chamberlain was injured for about a year. Shaqiri was a Bayern outcast who played in Stoke City for about a couple of seasons. So, I mean, if you look at the business that Liverpool has done, getting Shaqiri for about 13-12 odd million is a fantastic piece of business. And that's what we need to do. We need to build a team which can, fill in the philosophy of Solskjaer and how he wants to play. Get rid of the deadwood, which Solskjaer has already done. I mean, he promised to do that, and he's already done that to an extent. So I think we do need to give him time. But unfortunately, Solskjaer will be judged on the performances, on the team's performances. And right now, the performances are poor and average. The only thing that worked for us in this game was the fact that we sat deep and we defended deep. And by doing that, we nullified the threat of Jamie Vardy running in behind the defenders. Other than that, I think we were average. But the good thing is even Leicester was average. And because of that, we were able to secure a 1-0 win, a penalty goal. Marcus Rashford looks like he needs to have some confidence. Again, very unfortunate that Anthony Martial got injured, because I think he was playing really well. He was scoring goals for fun. He was looking like a guy who has regained his confidence. But now, I think after he comes back from injury, we'll have to see how he plays, because again, Rashford and Martial are the 2 players who need to have confidence, who need to be given confidence in order to score goals. These are confident players. They need to be given confidence in order to perform better. We need to handle Daniel James properly. I think in the next coming games, like I mentioned before, we need to rest our backline and some of our forwards as well, because people have been playing in the international break as well. So I think it's a good chance to make people rest in the Rochdale game in the FA Cup, in the League Cup, before the big Arsenal game. I think we can also try players like Tahith Chong, Angel Gomez, Axel Toonzibi, even Jimmy Garner. Mason Greenwood also deserves a start against teams like Astana and Rochdale again, because I think we need to give youth a chance. And here I'm going to point at Frank Lampard and what he's done with Chelsea, because instead of crying about a transfer window that he could not make use of, like Mourinho, he has picked up players like Mason Mount, like Tammy Abraham, and look how they're playing. They're playing amazingly. And there's this new guy who came in the team yesterday, this midfielder who scored a screamer of a goal on his debut. I think that all happens when you give youth a chance. And if you give 5 people a chance, maybe 3 will be flop, but those 2 players will actually be very, very good. And that's what Solskjaer is planning to do, I hope, and will and can do in the next few games. Like I said, we need to build a streak of winning now before we get into Arsenal and Liverpool. But all in all, we need to improve on our performances. It was a very grinding win yesterday, but hopefully I think we can improve on this. We can take the positives out of this game and improve. Next up is Astana in the Europa League. It's a no-brainer. We should be winning that game. But let's see what are the tactics. Let's see what rotation Solskjaer is going to do in the game. And tell me, who do you think the man of the match was in this game? Because according to me, it's between Van Bissaka and McTominay. I would personally give it to McTominay because I think he had a very solid game considering the potentially good attacking options that Leicester had. I think he had a very good game. But Van Bissaka, as usual, has one of the best players for us till now, along with Daniel James. So tell me, who do you think your best player was throughout the game? Please don't forget to share, comment, and like the video. Please don't forget to tell me your experiences about the content that has been put up on the channel in the past few weeks. Tell me what do you think about the game? What do you think about the rotations that Solskjaer needs to do? Until that time, take care.